Welcome to Humanity Unboxed. Michael, amazing to see you. I like the new background too.
The other
It
one was
looks like you're in
busy,
the
so I
forest.
moved. My usual one was busy. I moved.
Choices,
Yeah.
see? They are always choices. Yeah.
Trust me, I make it up,
So
right?
trust
Trust me,
me,
I make it up.
I'm
Yeah.
making it up. That's it. Wouldn't it be nice if we knew this? Because this is how it all
Yeah.
works, isn't it? Trust me, but they just don't tell you that they're making it up. They pretend
It's
that
safe.
they
It's
know it
safe. The
is.
trend is safe, is guaranteed. All these system relevant linear things. It's guaranteed, it's safe, it's perfect, it's whatever. And that doesn't exist in humanity. There's no such thing. It's always a
No.
process. You are as perfect as you can
Yeah.
right now. In the next second, you
Yeah.
cannot be more perfect. You can be less perfect,
Yeah.
more perfect. It's constantly a flow. You know,
Yeah. There's a Dr. Seuss quote about being today I am meer than me. What is
yeah,
something like that? I can't remember what it is now, but it is every day we become more of ourselves if we allow not to be taken up by outcomes, by measurements of
yeah.
outcomes. If we can just refocus and recenter on the be bit, the human being
The
bit.
only thing is the outcome is, when we focus on the outcome, we're actually drawing away from why we focus on the outcome. So we focus, we focus on the outcome because we think that path is going to lead us to being married, right? Is going to lead us to the marriage, but it's not the marriage. It's not. It's the process of we are more interested in human centricity. We're interested in the process how I learn to get a girl, a guy, a partner, versus the
Yeah,
outcome. There is no finite
yeah,
thing, and when we just make stuff up and focus on the outcome and deny our dance, it's like you and I say, let's do a perfect podcast and we will be the biggest on the world and whatever. We never know how we did it. Even if we get it, we wouldn't know how we did it. So we are lost afterwards because we did it and now we have to repeat it and we can't repeat it. We have no idea how to dance
yeah.
with each other.
No, but because we're not dancing with each other, we are performing for an
Yeah,
outcome.
for the
Yeah,
reward. We're performing for the
yeah,
price, and that doesn't
yeah.
work. That doesn't work because otherwise
No,
we would have two episodes, you and I. You no, it doesn't work.
yeah. We wouldn't be doing it for
Yeah,
very long, would
yeah.
we?
And now we have almost
Yeah.
50
No.
episodes, and I cannot say that any of the episodes is a waste. I can,
No, because of the process. It's creativity, though,
yeah,
isn't it? That's how we how we define being creative is not about creating a
yeah,
product. It's about the process
creating.
of
Yeah,
creating.
that's
Yeah.
why we are collaborative creator species of nature. We always create,
Yeah.
and when we are boxed, we say, hey, I'm gonna win that prize.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
boxing. That's
Exactly.
that
Yeah.
takes all away from the great awareness that you learn in the process. When you
Mm.
box the outcome is kind of a boxing.
Yeah. It is a
Yeah,
boxing. So what we are saying through dancing with each other, just by doing that, that process is one of
yeah,
unboxing. So we're unboxing not necessarily humanity as such, but
yeah,
ourselves, which influences
yeah,
humanity
because
at
we're
the
all
end of the day.
interconnected. Yeah,
It's-
and
yeah,
and it's
yeah,
timeless. It's like this is how humans are. We're not focusing on, oh, we have AI now. What are we going to do with AI? What are we going to do with the technology? No, and it's wonderful. This one girl told me she was in a conversation and she told the group. He says the world isn't worse now than it was 200 years ago. It's the same. We have the same struggle, but we see it in a different way because we know our ways out. So we know we are more aware of our ways out and in. And then, you had poverty, you had horrible situations 200 years ago and everything. And now we are aware, and the awareness makes us upset. Not we are not living in a more horrible world. We're actually living in a better world, and we can make it better tomorrow. But we're still holding on to what was, and what we are conscious now. We say, "Oh, that can't happen." In the old time, you were called whatever, a thug or whatever, and it wasn't a thing. But today has a meaning to call somebody a thug, to call somebody gay or whatever. Then it wasn't even mentioned. You were nobody, if you weren't normal, if you weren't fitting in the stuff. So we are just more aware now, and therefore it's much more of a burden. And because we also interact better through the web and stuff, so now we're not supposed to know everything about the world. We're supposed to only know about our tribe, our family, our close thing, and be the best that we can in that environment. And now we know everything. We know everything. And also, what was the title? Trust Me, I Know, or whatever.
Trust me, I'm making it up.
And now it is exactly that, because the social media have learned, have conditioned us, or allowed us to condition us in that realm where we just make shit up. I mean, I think I said that before. You were walking in front of the Ritz-Carlton. You don't even bless the Ritz-Carlton to wash your hands. You just make a photo of Ritz-Carlton and say, "I was at Ritz-Carlton." It's just, it's the pretending. It's the constant pretending. And I mean, you and I, we live life. And when we go on social, it's a different realm. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, or we don't know, or we choose not to be. I'm choosing not to be on there a lot. I've also I found this really cool guy. His name is Oliver somebody. His Instagram, you must go check it out, is Sailing with Phoenix. He has quit his job. He's like 28 or something like that. He's got a spinal disorder or a thing. So he decided, screw this corporate America wannabe dream. And him and his cat Phoenix, he's named his boat after his cat. So they're both Phoenix. So he's sailing. He just arrived in Hawaii on Saturday. He sailed for the first time in a big ocean from Oregon to Hawaii on his own with his cat. Amazing. And it's just watching this. He's so, I don't know, just different.
It touches you.
He's not pretending. Just authentic. It's just a person that made it brave. It's very brave. I mean, it's scary to be in the middle of that ocean. You can imagine on your own.
You've never done it. You haven't.
And he's never. I mean, I think before he bought this boat, he had only been in rivers or in not out on an ocean. So, I mean, we also need to. I wouldn't know that if I only focused on my community or tribe or whatever. Like, I don't live in my tribe necessarily.
Because we are segregated from our tribe. We are not in our tribe. There is no tribe where you and I are. We are segregated from the tribe. There's a couple of friends because systems have segregated it all. And it wouldn't be, you would probably be with the Phoenix was in your tribe or close. He would have gone down a river or up a river with his cat or something. And that's still amazing because you have, when you wash your clothes in that river, you say, I could never, sail that river down. So you would get the same touching, and you wouldn't also be so numbed out like we are. People surfing waves that are insane. They climb mountains. Everything is extreme to be thing, and that's a normal person doesn't do it. It's like systems always say, oh, the viral videos, the podcasts meet money, 100,000 followers, everything's extreme. And therefore you think, oh, I could never do it, even though your action would be breathtaking if anybody else would copy it. I mean, I say just our interaction, show me other people that interact like you and I. It's like we are one of ones. And when you look at it and give it time, you can see that this is 100% open. There's no pretending. And that's
No.
that's at least
Yeah.
close to getting in the ocean. It's like,
well, it is an ocean in a way,
Yeah.
isn't it? And once you get into his dream is to sail around
Yeah.
the world. So this is only the first step. But I want to go back to what you were saying about trust me, I'm making this up. Isn't that creativity though? Isn't that us, right? Isn't that what we want to aspire, be? We want to be able to make this up, but
because
still be
this is the
trusted.
illusion.
Not
And we're making it up
Yeah,
anyway. We're making it up anyway.
Exactly. We're making it up anyway. So if I am clear about it, if I am transparent about it and say, hang on, trust me, I'm making it up, but why, let's do it together.
Yeah.
Let's create something together. I don't know what it is. There's no prize, at the end.
Yeah.
The prize is
I
the
agree with
process.
this. I mean, that this is just a verbalization of what is, right? We're making it up anyway. The problem is when you make it up. See, I see it different. I see it between you and me. I see it normal. When between on the social media and digital network, it's hidden. So we making it up, but we hide it. We pretend it's safe. We pretend it has value. We pretend it should help. All these things. And I'm not very happy with that making it up. With where it's pretending. It's pretending. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not being transparent. If you're going to use AI to write everything, it's an interesting thing. I was thinking about it this weekend. Everybody uses AI, as part of content creation. We just can't push out enough. There's just not enough time as such. So we all use AI in certain ways and certain places. But now when we read content that's been written or made by AI, there's no underlying energy in that. So if you're reading it, you can't, if I can't sense what you're saying, because we've said this before, words are very confusing. Especially for people that know more than one language, words become a obstacle. So when AI is the one that's creating and putting the words together, it's a very linear process.
It's also very average.
Using the right
it's very
word.
average.
Yeah, but there's also no energy from the writer within that space.
Yeah,
and you can, it's fine to do that when you're creating content around, education or, explaining something that someone needs to learn or whatever. But if you are trying to share emotion or share something of yourself, this is why I stopped writing.
If you share your oneness, if you share your oneness, that's why I don't use AI. I use it usually in the beginning when I have a lot of material and I say do it, but it fails tremendously there. I said sort this out in context. It can't even comprehend what I say. It can't digest, because it's not aware. It's about the awareness, and it can only be. It's like our brain. Our brain is just an executor. We right. We perceive ourself with a capital S, which is the consciousness perceives in our body, and then our brain digests always what's not what's after. It comes after. So if I feel I feel awkward, right? And when I feel awkward, all of a sudden my brain tries to sort it out to like AI, it sorts it out. Oh, this could be your fear of being betrayed. Whatever you have. So it is a very linear process, but the awareness always says yes. Number one, the awareness says always yes, has no. And because it creates it's the source of creation, right? It creates the existence, and 8 billion people.
Okay, hang on a minute.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes and no. What do you mean? It never says no. Why not?
Because if you say
Never
I want to
says
kill
no
people,
to
I wanna do
yeah.
this, I want to do this bad thing, it wouldn't happen
Mm,
if we wouldn't say yes. It wouldn't happen. It would not be executed. It says the war now, all the stuff with the war. It wouldn't say yes, you can. God always says yeah. You know the thing is God. God is always saying yes. So we have a chance
mm,
to poison people, do this, and this, it to experience it, and then to have an awareness that says, yeah, that wasn't so good killing these people. That wasn't, to become the awareness of creation. Everything is possible. There's, no. That's why
yeah.
the awareness of you say always yes. You that has beliefs, the body and the mind say no, or against something, or have a resentment. But the self
Mm,
is allows you to do everything. Otherwise, you wouldn't be having a billionaire that is unhappy and a poor person that is happy. You wouldn't have that because it would always be going by a linear sample.
okay.
Make
Okay.
sense?
I think I understand. Yeah. Um, okay. So that comes back to, if we making it up, we're saying yes to all the possibilities. So we're not
First.
limiting
Yeah,
ourselves,
yeah,
yeah, by this brain, which is the
yeah.
processor, which is very limited. It only
It's
knows
like AI. It's
the little
processing,
bit.
linear processing. It's just saying this
Yeah,
was
it's like,
here
yeah,
and then that was there. This was before, that was after. So it must repeat itself. At least you have to look at the
well,
thing
yeah,
that this is going to repeat itself. So you lost a child, you lost a child, and now you're very afraid to lose that child to the second child, right? And they have
yeah.
nothing to
So
do with
it's
it. They have
based
nothing to
in
do with
fear.
each other. They are made up, you know?
Yeah, yeah. To
Yeah,
protect, to
yeah,
survive. So if I'm going to tell you these things, you will be scared and you won't say yes. You won't put
yeah,
yourself, in a position that you might get hurt again. It's not necessarily
yeah.
true,
But you make it
um,
true. You make
but
it true. You make it true
yeah,
that that's why this thing of letting go, is so
mm,
important because we are everything we are right now. We are everything we could be in this moment. But that's just
yeah,
saying it. You have to feel it that we are just everything in this moment. And we get closer. It's like when they say
mm,
in the new wave movement, they say you create your own reality. That was so far away that
mm,
I couldn't do anything with that. When I heard the first time, and when I was 22, you create your own reality. I could never do anything, and then more and more and more, and then it was still victim and all this stuff. Uh, but it took a long time to be aware of this. Words don't carry awareness. Words
yeah,
explanation, and your
mm,
awareness comes from experience, that explanation from reading a book, from whatever. This is wonderful what comes in.
yeah,
It's just, I never thought about this.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, this also makes me think, of the difference between knowledge and
Yeah,
wisdom. Where knowledge is that brain processor, it only knows the
yeah.
limitations. It only knows the limited
Hmm.
aspects to certain things, where the wisdom is the heart, or the fact that we still want to feel, even though there is a
Yeah.
wounding, or a something that awareness have
Hmm.
brought us. We there is an urge to move
Yeah.
through it, and to experience more, because this is why we're here,
Hmm.
surely, to experience the human form,
And more than that,
and
just you experience the human form, but I think also more because when we are in, there's no time and space. When we are the consciousness in a part of the whole of 8 billion, at least
mm,
the 8 billion here on this earth, when we are part of that,
mm,
there's everything done. There's nothing to know. You know everything you need to know. And because we made it such a hard thing to get conscious and grow, that's why growing is such an essential thing. And awareness is is the tool to grow, right? I mean, at least what we are aware of. Perhaps there's something more than that, but what we are aware of, the highest intelligence is awareness. And that's what you and I teach, and that's why we not teaching. We make people aware of awareness, so that there is something else. But where there is in awareness, there is no right or wrong. That it just is. It is. That's what it is. You know, I personally feel it's wrong with war. But in the awareness realm and the wisdom realm, there is not that. There is not saying the wisdom and the awareness doesn't say war is bad, killing is bad. No, that's that we say that because we exist. In awareness, you don't exist physical, so killing doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. This is thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much.
Which is difficult to wrap your head around, really, because you don't want people to suffer, but yet you know judgment is such a one-sided thing.
Duality
so once
duality is because good and bad, right and wrong, but the higher form of good, bad, right, wrong is it is, you know. So it's not we give value of good and bad, right and wrong, sad and happy. We give it value by experiencing it. Or I would say not even value, relevance. I think we and that's why everybody wants to be relevant, right? So when superstars lose their faith, they get weird and do just to get the fame back, the relevance, because that's the physical relevance. The relevance, you are relevant. You cannot be more relevant. If Trump would never be the president, he wouldn't be more or less ever relevant. He is who he is, or anybody, you know. You are not married, but you experience your relevance through the physical. But you cannot give up your relevance from that. You know, you cannot say, "Oh, I'm better than this person." We are not better than it. We always say it. We are not better than anybody. We're just enjoying ourselves. We're enjoying the one-on-oneness. You know.
Yeah.
The dance.
But with awareness, only through awareness we can realize the relevance.
Exactly. The true relevance, not the your doctor. You know. The true relevance.
Yeah.
Because you're a doctor, and this is just so funny because in systems it's so segregated and so small that in that small space of being a doctor, you are, you know, a doc. You're valuable. But if nobody needs a doctor, it, you know, tomorrow if tomorrow nobody needs a doctor, the doctor's irrelevant. Like, you know, with the coders, everybody was supposed, you know, when I was young, everybody became a lawyer or a doctor, right, to be relevant, right, or a judge, you know, and so then that went away, and now the next thing came, being a coder, and that goes away because it's always system relevant, mattering. The system relevant mattering is so bad, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, moving out of that is not easy, because then you have to kind of dive deep and realize what relevance and being, you know, that you are already perfect. You were born
perfect. But this is the way that's the whole loop. It's you want to put yourself into an unconsciousness, because we are, you know, if we are conscious beings, but you put yourself, that's why you forget everything by birth, right? You are born, and your slate is clean. Doesn't matter where you were. If you have, I mean, if I just mentioned this, you have other lives or whatever. It's just everything is gone. It's you just that little baby that gets conditioned and gets to the main things that you want to experience here, you know, and what you can do with that. Not just what you want to be experiencing, but also what you can do with that experience. Because some people just destroy and leave, you know, to come back again. So and then there's the loop is you come back to what's the truth, the isness. You become back to the isness, where you say, we are already that, and I'm just letting go of everything that I eliminated, the nothingness, right? You come to that nothingness, you know.
Yeah, which can be quite
And
intimidating,
then nothingness
because
is
we're so
everything, right? Nothing is and
exactly.
in order to see nothingness, you have to know about everything. It's like that teeter
Yeah,
totter, yeah. Because
yeah, and to know everything or to experience everything, you need to know and experience
exactly,
nothing,
yeah.
or nothingness. And yet there is, can we ever experience nothingness? Do we even know how? Can we let go of everything, or will we always hold on to something, even if it's
In the
letting
physical,
go
I think we
of the
hold on
thing?
to anything until we let go. I think we hold on to
Mm,
anything because that's just the function of physical. You hold on to something that, and even if it's your body and your brain, you know, you
yeah,
hold on and then you let it go.
yeah. But for me, it's kind of, how do we hold on lightly so that it doesn't become a box, so we don't get trapped by it, because often that's what happens when even we can even get hung up on letting
Mm-hmm.
go, within judgment, oh, you're not doing it right, or it should be this way, or it should be that way. So it is about finding the outlines, I think, but knowing that they can change. Maybe. I don't know. I
No,
don't know
no, no. I
anything,
don't know
Michaell.
anything either. But the what I think was it's I think we are on the right path, or at least a very rewarding path for me. That my conversations with you, because we go. What's going on with the dogs here? The dog is freaking out. Uh, so when we, I think there's a thread, and you and I we talked before this too. The awareness, it's almost an addiction about awareness. Once you plug into that, once you are aware about awareness, I think once you are aware about, once you experience awareness and you see that it is not in time space, it is not about you or anybody else. It just is. When you get fired up from that, you're attracted to that, and you keep going to that, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's getting better and better, better and better.
Yeah. And yet you need to make a lot of choices within that, because awareness can, once you become aware and you can go down a rabbit hole where there's a lot of information being thrown at you, it can take over. So I don't know how to say this properly, but awareness for me.
Jesus, the
So
dogs,
you've
the
got the
energy is
wars
just.
on. um, yeah, so awareness is almost something that also has to be, I don't know, there's a lot of space and silence needed in it for me. If there's too much information or noise being thrown into it, then it's like all these things going off. So I don't know how to make sense of what I'm trying to say. But within awareness, it's almost, there needs to be a lot of nothingness, to be able to keep connection to the awareness or the
Mhm.
consciousness of awareness.
I saw that what you just said as there is space, because awareness
Mm,
is the limited. It's very essential, and the
mm,
space is because everything is noise. And so when the
yeah.
awareness creates space, because that you need to be, you know, and so you let all that noise go, and once you
Mm,
let that noise go, you come to the very simple answers, human-centric,
exactly.
system relevant,
Exactly.
human,
Simple.
you become,
Yeah.
so one of oneness, those things that come, and nobody can push them over. Nobody can say, no, we are not 101. We're not acting. I mean, I see that for me, that's a proof that when we say, we are all 101 of 8 billion, and has nothing come how we look, how we are, if we're feminine, masculine, it doesn't matter. And when that is, then, and there's nobody that says, no, that isn't, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And to embrace that, as to, we are not labels.
Yeah,
We are not, any of that. We are
yeah,
just, I'm
yeah,
Michelle, or this version of me is called
yeah,
Michelle, and you are
yeah,
Michaell. And whatever that brings is who you
exactly.
embody. and choose
Yeah.
wisely.
And it does a lot. And then when you see that, I think the awareness also strengthens because you recognize this pattern. This pattern works for you. And you say, hey, nobody argues with me. This is, this must be having some relevance for me that we are 8 billion one-on-ones.
Yeah, yeah, and it does. Michael, I think that's a
Yeah,
perfect
but all
place
the
to
doggies are freaking out.
conclude. Between the dogs and the
Yeah.
sirens, I think that is very good.
Now, and it was
And this
funny
is the
because
end of our,
it was about awareness and zimmering down.
yeah,
Perfect.
yeah,
Perfect.
exactly. And this is the end of our creativity or month's kind of theme
Okay.
around creativity. So next month we kind of still under the trust umbrella, but we're going to look at
Okay.
value,
Oh,
adding value.
super. Yeah.
So let's see where
Okay.
that takes
Perfect.
us.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
for
much.
me and my
See you
doggy.